What's up, guys? It's Jay, MorninAfterKill, and I'm back in black, with some more Call of Duty Black Ops 3 gameplay. And if that's not your jam, that's fine. Go ahead, just tab out, listen along. The gameplay isn't very important, although it is there for your viewing consumption pleasure. But the most important part of today is that it's Sunday. You're here, I'm here, and it's time for us to get to know each other just a little bit better with another episode of my Sunday Q&A. This is a series where you guys ask the questions, and sometimes I'll have the answers. However, I don't have the answers to everything. So if I didn't get to your question this week, it doesn't mean it's a shitty question. It just means that I either don't have an answer for you, or the questions I chose were better. Unless you actually asked the shitty question. In which case, that's why it didn't get picked. So don't ask the shitty question. But if you have a question about anything in the world, even if it's off the wall, weird conspiracy theory, aliens putting things in your butthole while you're sleeping type shit, as long as it's interesting and thought-provoking, it has a very good chance of being picked. But that's enough about butts. Let's get to the first question, which is actually a commonly occurring theme amongst most of you guys, and I've answered it a lot of times, and I think it's time to put this question to rest on my channel. I realize a lot of you guys are having a hard time in high school, so I'm just gonna sum this up in a pretty broad and generic spectrum that should reach most of you guys asking questions along these lines. But Luke and a bunch of other motherfuckers who want to know how to deal with bullies in high school. And honestly, I mean, I've told you guys before, high school sucks. I mean, there's a few people in each class that will have a pretty favorable high school experience, but those are people who typically peak early in life, and they ride easy through school based on their popularity, and they never have the time to develop the social skills needed to fully function in the adult world. For the rest of us, the miserable times, the humiliating time, the painstakingly embarrassing, stomach-turning times that we all experience in high school prepare us for a lifetime of getting your ass kicked by life for the rest of your life. Because if you think the bullying stops in high school, you're wrong. It's just that people stop bullying you and you just get your ass kicked by society and life in general. But the more adversity that you withstand in your life, the easier that life eventually becomes for you. So look at it this way. High school is just a very short period of time in your life. But at the time that you're living it, since you haven't lived very long, 4 years seems like your entire life. But it's not. So you can either go about this two ways. You can either suck it up and deal with how shitty is high school, because believe me, you're not the only one. You learn some social skills and build some character along the way. And in 15 years, you can have yourself the last laugh when you see how miserable they've all become on Facebook. Or you can just sack the fuck up and hit the motherfucker in the middle of class dead smack in the face with a chair. Should put an end to any bullying you're experiencing in your high school career. But it depends on the satisfaction that you want. You want instant satisfaction, or that well-brewed, sweet, rich satisfaction later on in life. But just know, your situation is not exclusive, and 90% of people that went through high school are experiencing the same shit you are every day. Take comfort and solace in that. And that brings us to the next question from Mr. Sci-Fi OG, who wants to know if it's awkward when I tell people that I make YouTube vids and make money from them when people ask what I do. Well, Mr. OG, it's kind of pretty interesting that she asked that question, because, well, I don't tell people about my YouTube channel ever, really. Like, seriously, the only people that know that I'm MorninAfterKill is my girlfriend, my brother, my mailman. Obviously, my mailman knows, because things usually come addressed to me from companies that I work with. And also, my friends Jack and Nando, they both know. My next door neighbor, and the guy that does my taxes. Outside of those people, no one else in my real life really knows anything about it. I mean, a couple of my cousins, they know I make the videos on the YouTubes, but you know, outside of that, they don't really have any clue of like what type of vids I make, how many subs I have, or if it's actually any type of a successful channel. They just don't really give a fuck. My family isn't really into the whole internet culture, really. Like, so most of them don't get it. So it just doesn't really ever come up. And I think I kind of prefer it this way, you know. I never really started doing YouTube for any type of attention from people, and, you know, not putting myself at the forefront of my channel allows me to be more honest and open with you guys about my life, since I don't have to worry about people judging me prior to meeting me based off of my YouTube channel, because they have no idea that I have a YouTube channel because my face doesn't appear on my videos. So I don't have to worry about someone coming up to me and say, "Oh, I saw on your YouTube channel you encourage the kids to engage in chair fights to the death in school. You're a douchebag." Doesn't happen to me. Ever. Because the fact that MorninAfterKill only exists on the internet. And it makes it easier to deal with all the type of hate that you get, and also, you know, not getting an inflated ego, since once I walk away from my computer, everything MAK stays online, so it doesn't really bother me if somebody talks shit. So I can just either block them, and I don't have to see them anymore, or just get up and stop looking at my computer. Don't understand how internet bullying exists, because the internet is customizable. You can see what you want and take what you want. So if I see something that I don't want to take, you just walk away, and it all stays online. Next is your average Joe, who wants to know what my opinion on how a parent should discipline a child. It's a pretty damn good question too, since growing up, my generation was the last generation of children that you were legally allowed to beat as punishment without the government stepping in and doing anything about it. And I'm serious about that. And when I mean beat your children, I mean we were beat by everything and anything our parents could get their hands on. Big ass spoons, metal or wooden, wasn't exclusive. Flip-flops, shoes, curtain rods. Shit, I remember this one time my mom threw the radio down the stairs. Big ass 80s boombox. Hit me right in the dome with that shit. It's not funny, but it kinda is. But here's my point of view on discipline. I feel that it's up to the parents to decide whether the punishment fits the misdeed. However, I also believe that the parent should not hit their children with anger in their heart. What? Alright, I've experienced both kinds of disciplines in my life. There are two types of ways to hit your children. One is what I call tough love paddle spankings, and two is another being hit by your parent with hate and anger in their heart. And believe me, as a child being hit and punished, you can tell the difference. And there is a place in this world for tough love paddle spanking a child. You know, and after seeing how my generation turned out compared to the generations that weren't allowed to be beat by their parents, I kind of feel like some of you motherfuckers deserve to be hit across your asses a few times. Faux show. But I don't believe it should ever be to the extreme that some in my generation got fucked up by their parents, myself included. But fortunately for me, I rarely ever had to give my son more than a small smack on the ass as a baby. But they're wearing a diaper anyway, so they can't really feel it. It's also hilarious when you give a little kid a pop on the butt and you see the powder come up the crack of their ass out the back of their pants. Shit. But you know, other than that, mostly if my son was doing something he wasn't supposed to, he'd either get the, "Hey! Fuck are you doing? Knock it off!" Or I just squirt him with the same water bottle that we kept around that when the cats jumped up on the counter, you're like, "Get out of here!" Fucking watch them fucking run away. Surprisingly, the water bottle works pretty well, especially for kids that like to fucking walk up to the TV and slap it. Don't know why kids do that. They just walk up to the TV and don't do that shit for a half hour, 45 minutes straight. You think they'll stop? They won't. Fucking water bottle. Alright, now you. Hey! Not gonna fuck off! Works every time. And finally, we have Daniel Ives, who asks, "MAK, how do you deal with your bipolar or social anxiety? I suffer from both, and it gets really hard to cope. How do you deal with it?" Right. Well, to be honest, I'm not very good at dealing with my bipolar very well either. Especially since the medications for bipolar don't typically work very well on me, and that's by nature of it actually working too well on me. The fuck are you talking about, MAK? Alright, I refuse to take the bipolar and social anxiety medications given to me, prescribed to me for the bipolar disorder, because they're too effective on me. They leave me pretty much devoid of any personality at all. Like, basically straight-faced, zombified, and possibly even drooling at some points in time throughout the day, which I can't stop at all. So, when I was first diagnosed as bipolar, it was when I was brought to the crisis center when my baby's mama broke up with me for the first time, and she brought me back to my mom's house. I had nowhere to go. So I went into the backyard and I popped the screen door on the back door, and I broke back in the house, and I went to sleep in my old room. I didn't think it would be a problem. Apparently, it was a problem for my mother. She ended up turning the lights on, saying it was me. Like, I would have gave her the benefit of the doubt if she called the cops before she saw it was me. But she turned the light on first, saw it was me, and was like, "I'm calling the cops." And the bitch pressed charges on me for breaking and entering. I was just tired. Bitch needed some place to go to sleep. They're fighting with the baby's mama all night. The cops even thought it was shitty that my mother had me arrested after not having anywhere to go. So they gave me the choice to either go to jail or a 72-hour hold in a crisis center. And I was like, you know, fuck jail. Take me to the hospital. And that's where I first was prescribed medication for bipolar disorder. But yeah, the meds just completely ruined me as a person. And I didn't like the way that they made me feel. I didn't want to just sit there staring at the wall for the rest of my life. So most of my life, I've been self-medicating myself by smoking weed. And it's kept me from breaking completely mentally, which is funny, because most of the mental breakdowns that I've had in my life also coincided in a time when I wasn't smoking weed on a regular basis. However, these days, sadly, I have too much going on in my life to risk losing everything over a little bit of weed. So it's really just a constant day-to-day struggle to keep myself from sliding down the old rabbit hole, you know? Some days, I call them throwaway days, and it's all these days, you know, you see it coming. It's just all the dominoes in a day, they just start to fall, and it's days like these where you just kind of gotta grab on and go for the emotional roller coaster. And my girlfriend knows on days like that, when she sees my door shut, she just lets me be, because poking the bear is not a good idea. I wish I had a better answer for you, man. I really do, because if I had an answer for you, then I'd have an answer for me. But sadly, outside of medicating yourself, whether pharmaceutically or au natural, there's not much you can do. It's a chemical imbalance. It's always going to be there. It's never going to get better. You can't heal a chemical imbalance. So you kind of drew the short end of the stick. I feel for you, man. I do. So, my name is Jay. MorninAfterKill. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys rate, comment, subscribe. If you could leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd highly appreciate it, because it gives me motivation to make more videos for you motherfuckers that watch my motherfucking videos. But also, don't forget to leave a question in the comment section down below for next week, so I can answer and we can keep this series going. I'm enjoying it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. My name's Jay. MorninAfterKill. Thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys later.